Hello and welcome to NFL Experts. I'm Dave Kress along with Louie. Today we are going over our top 5 receivers going into the NFL Draft 2013. So we have the first top 3 the same, so let's start out with number 1, Keenan Allen out of California.
Yeah, Keenan Allen, to me, is the best receiver going to this draft. He, to me, is a definite first-round pick. I think he could be a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Great speed, big size. He's a great route runner. He's, to me, the most complete receiver in this draft. Reminds me a lot of, he's got Hakeem Nick's size, the way he route runs. But he's got the speed of Deshaun Jackson, Devin Hester, the way he kick returns, and like Percy Harvin. So, he's the most complete receiver, and I think he can definitely be a number 1 receiver on a team.
Oh, yeah.
Say, like the team like the Buffalo Bills, who need a guy that can move speed in the slot.
If I was the Bills, I'd take anyone, I'd take Keenan Allen, definitely. He's exactly what they're looking for. But there's a lot of good deep threats coming into the draft this year. For example, number 2, Cordarrelle Patterson out of Tennessee.
Yeah, Cordarrelle Patterson. I've been comparing. This is a deep receiver class. He reminds me a lot of Roddy White.
Yeah, Roddy White.
White. He's got Cordarrelle Patterson is one of the best route runners in this draft. My only problem with him is he's not the most consistent catcher. But his speed. A lot of great kick returning receivers in this, as well as him, just like Keenan Allen. There's in a lot of people's list that he's the number 1 receiver, but he's just got some fundamentals that he's got to work out, including the way he catches it. But I just think, Cordarrelle Patterson, he's a big receiver too, so he's going to help in red zone offense too.
Most likely, Keenan Allen's probably going to go in the first round. But how many receivers do you think will go in the first? I'd probably say only 1 or 2.
Coming from 3 receivers were picked last year, with the way it is this year, with the need for receiver 2, I think it's higher than it was last year. I would say 3, and I would not be surprised if it's 4. I think Keenan Allen and Patterson are locks to be first-round picks. And then I think you see maybe like Terrance Williams squeeze in, or Hopkins or Austin.
Well, Terrance Williams, he's a physical receiver. I watching some highlights from him, and he looks like a good guy you want to throw to in the end zone. Kind of like a smaller, an end zone threat who you'd like to throw to. He can also run deep, and that's who we have 3.
Yeah, he's not the fastest. He's not the fastest receiver, but he's a great possession receiver. Like you said, he's a big deep threat because he's super tall. Kind of like his former receiver at Baylor, Kendall Wright. I think he'll be going in the late first round or early second. But his great size, and he to me has the best hands in this. In the draft, he's without RG3, he posted over 1,000 yards and almost 10 touchdowns. So he's going to be a potential first-round pick, if not second.
Who was it? Kendall Wright who went to Baylor?
Yes, Kendall.
Last year.
Kendall Wright went to Baylor and then got picked to Tennessee. And that's where Williams can end up, like in the 20s for the first round, or I think no other kind of like. Stephen Hill last year, who went in the early second. I think he'll be like that, where if he does fall in the second, it won't be long before he gets his name called.
Well, Stephen Hill had a pretty good year last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of mess in New York, though, so I don't blame him for his injuries.
So number 4, well, who do you have at number 4?
Number 4, I have Tavon Austin from West Virginia. And this is really one or the other. You could choose him or DeAndre Hopkins. It's really a toss-up.
Yeah. Well,
I just like Austin's speed. It reminds me a lot of Percy Harvin. He's small, great size. He can run the quick reverses. He's going to be a great package for a team that really needs another receiver that has a big-time threat that could just use the speed.
Oh, yeah, when you look at Tavon Austin, he is fast. And that's going to be his main aspect, his speed. So he'd probably be like a nice slot receiver, maybe.
Yep, definitely.
Because he's not the tallest guy.
Kind of like a Wes Welker, he's going to get a lot of catches.
But faster.
Yes. Playing with Geno Smith last year, he had a lot of success, over 1,000 yards. But just all the other things he can do, you go like Percy Harvin. He's got the deep threat ability. He's got the reverses. He can run the ball. A lot of receptions. He's a really complete receiver, and that's why he's my number 4.
He's my number 5. My number 4 is DeAndre Hopkins out of Clemson. I believe he's your number 5 as well.
Yeah.
Hopkins, he looks great. He's another deep threat, kind of like the first 3 in Keenan Allen, Cordarrelle Patterson, and Terrance Williams. But I really like, Tavon Austin, he's different from the
Oh,
others we have in there. So the others are going to be your outside wideouts that are going to go deep.
Austin will be that slot guy.
Yeah.
Including DeAndre Hopkins, who I think is going to be an outside guy.
Yeah.
I would put him in kind of reminding me of a Julio Jones. He's taller though. I mean, and he runs with some power. Like in some highlights, he's been buried. He buried over his corners, and he's a very aggressive physical receiver that really can get up there. He's a high jumper. He's going to be great in red zone. And I think he'll be a second-round pick. I don't think he will be a first-round pick unless a certain team really likes what they see in him. Maybe he's ahead in some other people's lists. But I mean, he's a tall receiver. There's a lot of great receivers in this class. This is probably one of the deepest classes I've seen in a while. A lot of full, complete receivers in this draft.
All right. Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for today's NFL Experts Draft Preview. Be sure to tune in next time when we do our top 5 offensive linemen. Follow me at DB Sports Talk and Dave Kress at Dave Kress Sports.